Who's winning?
Me. I always win. Actually, no, he beat me last time.
Our Settlers of Catan game has been getting a lot of action this last week with the boys trapped inside. It is a really fun board game if you guys are looking for something fun to do as a family, and like it's fun for the whole family, and you know they're teenagers and they really like it also. What do you think, Bear? What do you think? Here's another board game that's getting played a lot right now, which the kids left it here. This is one that the little boys play, and they can play it on their own without having to have a big kid or an adult playing it with them. So this is in the driveway right now. It's just got dropped off our chicken plucker from Murray McMurray Hatchery because our meat birds will be here in just, I guess, a week and a half now. Y'all, the amount of materials we have for projects right now is silly. Hello, Manny. Hey, Manny boy. Oh, Bear. Why'd you scare him? Gosh, I need to remember to bring the graham crackers down when I come down here. Manny comes up to the fence a lot. Hey, Manny. Come on, Bear. Come on. Gotta get a trellis up for these peas. They're kind of snuck up on me. Oh, greenhouse, sweet greenhouse. I showed you guys the pile of building materials. That is because when we kind of caught wind of the fact that things were going to be unstable for a little while and people were talking about staying home as much as possible, I know a lot of people went out and like stockpiled toilet paper, but my dear husband went and purchased all the materials he would need to finish the projects he wanted to do for the next couple of months. Which, I mean, it was a sound decision. It was a logical decision because the projects that we want to do are for growing food. So, we're ready. The weather today is beyond perfect. It is so nice. It was even a little bit warm today. It's just been really good to be outside. I'm thinning my carrots right now. Now, I sowed some of them better than others. This particular, which means a lot of thinning for me. Maybe next time I'll listen to future self scoldings and past self saying, hey, take your time. Don't do that. Look at all of these. This is not even a fraction of what I have to pull out. Our highest priorities before we start building our new high tunnel, and that is finishing the perennial garden beds and getting them filled so I can plant these things, and then amending the soil and putting my trellises back up over here. So I've kind of been waiting to see what happens here in these front beds because I knew there were some things that should be coming up here. Now I put some bulbs in the winter, and they're starting to come up. However, I don't know if they're gonna bloom this year. These don't get as much sun as the ones by the greenhouse, so they're taking a little while. That's an amaryllis over there, and this is actually a clematis that's coming back up. I planted that last year and didn't do anything, and I thought that it was just, I guess, a dud, but there it is. The golden evening light is coming back, and I cannot express to you how happy that makes me. When I was a photographer, people would want to do sessions like in the middle of the day. I'd be like, no, you don't want to do that. You gotta wait for the golden hour. I love the golden hour. It's so romantic. It makes everything more beautiful. Ugh, muddy. Hey ladies, you want some little tiny carrots? Oh, they're not that interested in it while they've got grain on the ground. They'll eat it in a little bit. We're getting all our chicks in. They're shipping the 6th. We're actually gonna have quite a few chickens. Not as many as we used to have, because we used to have a lot. But we're getting in a large amount. However, right now, I just shared my flock with my friend, and we have about 12 hens, I think. 15. We have 15. That's just what we have left after having some predator issues over the winter and then sharing our flock. And we're gonna have all those new chicks coming in, but they're obviously not gonna lay for 18-ish weeks. So Ben Turn actually recently picked up some birds from a person who basically you can a lot of times buy commercial layers like after they age out of the commercial laying system, and people buy those and then sell them. And it's really kind of cool because you get these birds that like weren't treated great, and a lot of times they've never lived on grass and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just like to, I guess, maybe romanticize it and think that maybe they're just extra grateful. But Ben Turn actually got some birds from a guy who ended up with a lot of those, and we asked if he might have an extra 10 to sell, just to go ahead and have some more that are laying eggs right now. At our local grocery stores, the last time that I went, they actually did not have any eggs in stock, and I've talked to several people that I know that they're coming in stock places, but a lot of places are having limits on them by like how many you can buy. You can buy like 2 dozen at a time. And for us, we just kind of thought that maybe going ahead and getting some more hens right now that are laying through this current time. I don't know how long this is gonna last, but having laying hens would be a benefit, because not only will that keep our family in eggs, maybe we'll have some extras for people that we're close to. That'll take the strain off the supply that is available at the grocery store and make those available to people who can't keep hens in their yard. We're just already set up for it, so it's really not a chicken math thing. Do you like how I'm defending my decision? It's really not a chicken math thing. I need these chickens. How many times have I said that before? I wish you could feel this. It feels good. Nice farm.
She's a keeper until we find a bigger place.
It actually makes me just a touch emotional standing back here because the grass is turning green again and the trees are getting leaves and it's warm and the birds are singing and our property's open. Bear, it feels so good. I'm so happy that that spring has come back.
Every year.
It does do that. I seem to forget. Every winter I seem to forget. Oh, this is it.
Phase 1 of Tiny Goat Playground.
Tiny Goat Playground. Nice. Old Gerard. What's up, Gerard? It's not even interested in me.
No.
Y'all, can you see the mangalitas out glowing in the sunlight? Let me see if I can get you closer. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see them right here. They're like silhouettes. They're just like luminescent. Just kind of saw this where this was freshly turned. A lot of times people will ask us why we do raised beds or like build up on top of the soil. And this is the ground that we have.
Shale.
It's like largely shale. This is what's underneath. We have like this weak, barely any topsoil, and then shale and clay. That's what our property is. So I was telling them that while everybody else was stockpiling toilet paper, that you were lining out all the materials you would need for upcoming projects.
Yeah.
We're set now.
Yeah.
We don't have to leave. He was very thorough.
The guys at Home Depot were like, what are you about to do?
We're gonna take over the world.
I'm like, didn't you hear? Like, the world's going crazy. I gotta make sure I have lumber. If I can't build stuff, what am I?
So what are the upcoming projects?
Okay. Projects. See, now you put me on the spot like my man.
You really
just goes
can't.
blank. Okay. Finish the cottage garden. I've got to finish the fence, finish putting the beds in, planting everything. Okay, we have to move the bees.
Yep.
I've got fences to build. I've got some fabric that I have to replace. I've got new fences to build. We actually got to put a
fence fabric, by the way.
Yeah, fence fabric, some old stuff, that welded wire stuff I told you all about. We have to take our last strand of it down and we'll never use that stuff again. And then I've got to build some new fence because my brother and are moving in next door. Yeah. I've got to put a fence around their house so our goats aren't like in their front door.
They won't go in the house. Like,
Noah's
going in the house.
Noah's over there working and he's up in the working in the ceiling. I'll say he looks over and Clover's standing in the family room, like looking at him sideways. And he's like, "Get out!" And he's like, she just looks at him like.
Clover is the dame of the herd.
She's like, do something. She goes, "I cut off my own ears." She didn't really cut off her own ears, guys. The manchas don't have ears naturally. But she's crazy. She really is crazy. She's a crazy goat. Oh, projects, yeah. So after I put a fence around the house next door, the greenhouse.
Yeah, the high
That's a
tunnel.
big thing.
How long do you think that's gonna take? A while.
I think me and Ben are pretty good. We're gonna knock it out pretty fast.
Okay.
I don't know. It'll probably take us a few days. I would think.
Okay.
We'd have to finish this garden. And none of this is actually really in order. I've got breeders to build. I have new chicks coming soon. I've got a meat chicken tractor I have to build. Roots and Refuge is also going to be building their very first Justin Rhodes Chicken Ninja Master Chickshaw mobile chicken coop.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool.
Yep. We're actually going to separate out the 2-acre pasture next door and basically be able to do rotational grazing, and we're going to rotate the chickens.
Then I've got turkey house, duck house. Oh, a deck for the kid garden.
Yep. Hey, ladies.
Hi, girls.
Why are you so cute, Ben? So when we share our homestead list, it probably feels like a lot, because it is. That's a lot of projects to be tackling, to be taking on, to be doing all at once. But I do want to encourage you to remember that the stage where we are took a while to get to. This is, at this point, because of content creation, our job. We do have an employee here that helps us, which makes a massive difference. And it hasn't always been this way. There were years where we were really strapped, where we were overdrawn with babies that we were taking care of, as in our children were babies that were still nursing and needing constant interaction from us. And it's just a different season. We make lists every spring and every fall. And basically what we do is we sit down and write the things that we would like to do that season for our farm and for our property. And honestly, we hold nothing back on those lists. We write down the things that there's no way foreseeable that we're going to be able to afford or cover, that we're not going to be able to pull off. We write all of those things down. These are just the things that we want to be able to do here on our farm. We've done that. Since we started this, we have done that every spring and every fall. We sit down together and we dream what's next. We think about we don't look at what we want to do over the next 5 years. We think about okay, what would the next step be without limitation? And what we do is we actually write that out on a list. And for instance, what we just listed to you, that's our list right now. And there are a couple of other things that I can think of that I might try to put on that list. For the most part, that was probably it. And we write all that down along with other tasks that need to be done, like muck out the deep litter bedding from the chicken coop from over winter and that kind of thing, like chores and tasks that need to be done, as well as the big dreams. And we actually take that and we put it with a magnet right on our freezer, on our refrigerator. And we see that every single day. And what's really cool now is that over the course of the last 6 years of us doing this, we've been making those lists. And there have been seasons where half the stuff didn't get marked off the list, that we tried our hardest, we did the best that we could, and half the things carried over until the next season's list or until the next year's list. And we didn't allow that to discourage us, because it was okay, well, it just wasn't the time for that. We didn't have the resources, we didn't have the ability, but it's still there, it's still in the list. And some things fell off. We changed plans. We decided that we wanted to go in a different direction, and things got removed from the list because we didn't want to do them anymore. But let me tell you what, having 6 years worth of lists with things that I used to dream for, and I've got it there in writing, that it was something that I really hoped for, that now I get to walk out in my backyard and look at. When I tell you that it feels good, when I come out and I just look around and I feel so much satisfaction and fulfillment, do you know that stack of lists, that's why that feels so good? It's because I haven't forgotten how badly I wanted this at some point. And I always say, make a 5-year plan, not a 1-year plan, and I stand by that. I think that if you're gonna dream big and you're gonna think of all the things that you want to do, on your farm and in your food growing venture, do that. Make your 5-year plan, get your big vision. Right now, I have a big vision that's way bigger than me. It's way bigger than any of this. And I think, gosh, if I could do that in 5 years, that would feel impossible. I have that. That vision grows. When you have that 5-year plan, let that be your overall dream. But then make your list of your next step, of what you see as the next bite you think you could take. What are the next priorities of the things that are most important to you? You know, is it meat in the freezer? Is it an expansion on your garden? Is it starting to grow fodder or do microgreens? Or it doesn't have to be big, massive things. Some of these things are gonna be skills you're gonna learn. Put them on a list. Put it in plain sight, because I really believe whenever you remember that that's what you want and you put it right there in front of you, it really helps you from getting sidetracked on other things. It reminds you on a daily basis, okay, this is what I want. And so when you're struggling with discouragement, or you're struggling with overcoming habits, specifically of being like lazy, that's something that I've honestly had to deal with through this, is really becoming more self-motivated and organized. Having that list there, it really, really helps that to become a possibility. Essentially, it just reminds you of what you actually want. Minturn just dropped off our chickens and they're sad looking. All right. Come on, don't scare them. Oh, I almost didn't put this on YouTube because it's a hard thing to see. These are birds which have not been loved. They don't know what treats are. Why is that so tragic? Hey! Bear, leave her alone. Y'all, these birds have probably never scratched on ground before in their life. Like, they seem completely bewildered. Hi! Hey! Look! Look! So Minturn got his last batch of chickens from these people, and I guess this is just like part of the commercial egg industry, is they sell their birds after they're a year old, because they basically renew them, and once they get to this point, they're past their prime and they just kind of like age out of their system, and they sell them super cheap to people who then take them other places and resell them. I'm kind of debated even buying them. I mean, we have a lot of chicks coming. I know that they'll have a happy life here. They look really sad. It genuinely breaks my heart that they don't know what treats are. Well, they'll be spoiled before too long. Here's all of my healthy girls. They know what treats are.
Yikes.
I do not want that going in the chicken poop mud. So I'm really glad that those chickens are coming to have a happily ever after, but it does make me a little tragically sad that they don't know what treats are.
It's okay.
Well, they just hit the chicken jackpot.
They sure did.
Alright, well, thank you guys for hanging out with us today. Make your list.
Make your plans. Right?
You weren't here for that part.
I know, but you said something about plans. I heard you. Make good plans.
We bless you guys. Until next time.